So our first chapter, security governance and through principles and policies. So security governance through principles and policies. So what is security? What is governance? What are the main principles and policies? If we ensure the security governance, what should we do? So we have to think from the managerial perspective each and every time. One thing it does, say you work in an organization, your job responsibilities is like the SOC analyst or SOC manager, or you are the member of the vulnerability assessment or penetration testing. So we are trying to achieve the certification, CISSP certification. So from today, after completion this exam, I request all of you, you should think like a manager. That means you are not only the head of IT, head of security, you are the security head of the world largest organization like Google, like Amazon. So you have to answer the question from that position. If you think you are in the mid-level people or your role is like the SOC analyst, most of the cases our answer will be wrong. Number one. Number two, we have to think the sustainable thing. That means our answer should be sustainable ones. So we'll know here security, what is the governance, different types of policies and principles to ensure the security. So here is the first domain. Each and every chapter may be the mixed domains. Say here chapter 1, it's considered the domain 1, security and risk management. So some option may cover domain 3 also. That means this is a mixed domain chapter. Each and every people have different types of strategy for the reading strategy. However, I always follow the official study materials, and I always prefer to use these materials because each and every question will come from here. So some people try to solve some question from the website or Google, different site, but we are not sure that the answer is right or wrong. But when we use the authentic source, authentic resource, authentic writer's document, then we ensure that most of the questions are right. Explanation is good because each and every reference they mentioned here. The professional, first of all, they asked about security. So security 101, that's mean fundamental security, fundamentals of security. So what is security? In the introduction section and very early in this chapter, they said that security should be viewed as an element of business management rather than an IT concern. What is the meaning of this sentence? Security should be viewed as an element of business management. So we have to think from the business aspect rather than IT concern. Without business, there is no value of IT. Definitely, we have to agree with this statement. To ensure our security of our business or to protect our asset, we have to implement different types of security tools, security things. It may be physical, it may be logical, it may be administrative, different types of security control we have to implement. So IT and security are different. IT and security are different. So what is IT and what are security concerns? Simply, we say that IT consists of three things: software, hardware, and network. This covers the IT. If we consider the IS, information systems, it's about the people, process, and technology. In this regard, we say that IT is the subset of IS. IT is the subset of IS. So here are three things. If I show you, for IT, it consists of three things: software, then hardware, and finally network. Software, hardware, and network. And for the IS, information systems, it's about the people, process, and technology. So what about security? Security is the core thing of information systems. So security is related to each and everything. Security is related to the software, hardware, or network. Similarly for the people, process, and technology. So it's a common thing aligned with IS or IT. So here the difference they said here: information technology or even information systems is the hardware and software support the operations or function of a business. And security is the business management tools that ensure the reliable and protected operations of IT or IS. Security exists to support the objective, mission, and goal of the organization. So this three thing is very important. Another thing is that evaluation. What is evaluation and what they say here? Once initiation of security, that means if we implement the security, we have to follow something. Say there are three types of security evaluation. If we want to evaluate how secure my system is, then we can do some things. And especially they mention three things. Number one, risk assessment. Number two, vulnerability assessment. Number three, penetration testing. So here one thing is that initiation of security is the first part, and under this one, security evaluation is another part. And how we can evaluate the security by doing the risk assessment, vulnerability assessment, and penetration testing. So it's the introduction section. That's why we think it's a little bit easy for all of us. So vulnerability assessment, actually vulnerability is the weakness of a system. How secure my system, or what are the vulnerability, what are the weakness of a system. If we find out this one, this is called the vulnerability assessment. And if we exploit the vulnerability, or if we break the weakness, then we say that the system carry the risks. And to exploit the systems is the process of penetration testing. So penetration testing use trusted individuals to stress test the security infrastructure. So here we know something, say a risk assessment, vulnerability assessment, penetration testing. In the CISSP exam, you will not get any definition related questions. Each and every question is very relevant to the practical aspect. Practical knowledge is very much important here. And another thing is that they say security should be cost effective. So what the meaning of this statement? What's the meaning of the sentence? Security should be cost effective. That's mean as a security analyst, as a security auditor, when we assessment, say we find some vulnerability of a system, so we have to implement the control to mitigate the risks, to protect the system. So as a security expert, you have to suggest a system which is cost effective. That's mean we have to think about the return on investment, cost effective, and we know that management accept risk when the asset value is small than the control value. So if the control value is higher than the asset value, then management accept the risk. So security should be cost effective. If we ensure the security of a system which produce or which generate $1 lakh per annum, and if we want to implement the security tools whose value is more than $1 lakh, definitely management will not take the decision to implement the security because it's not a cost effective. The return on investment is not satisfactory level. That's why they will not accept the. So here, if we summarize this passage, this paragraph, they talk about the security first of legally defensible and cost effective. Number one, security is the elements of business management. Another thing is security is considered as the business management tools. Security ensure the reliable and protected operation, and security will always support the objective, mission, and goal of the organization. These are the security fundamentals. Very introduction, they say these things. So here I mentioned this one also. Security should be legally defensible. Security is a journey, not finished line. We cannot secure anything 100%, but we can mitigate some risks and we can ensure the acceptable level of risks. So if we want to understand the security concept, it's most of the people we know the CIA triad. CIA means confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So here there are some basic things, say, as for example, for confidentiality, unauthorized people cannot see anything. Unauthorized people cannot see anything. So here, one thing is that a read operation is performed here. Basically, read operation is performed here. And if unauthorized people see or read information, actually confidentiality will be break. So when confidentiality will be break, we say that it's the disclosure. Disclosure. So opposite of confidentiality is the disclosure. Second thing is that integrity. So integrity is the option where a read option plus write option is performed here. Unauthorized people, if unauthorized people read anything as well as they change or modify the data, then the integrity will not be maintained. It's another problem. So write operation is the main concerning here. So if the integrity is violated or when the integrity will be violated, we say that the data or information is altered. So opposite of integrity is the alteration, change, modification. So when unauthorized people modify or change some data or information, we say that the integrity is violated. And another thing is that the availability. So you are the authorized user. The organization give you permission to change, to modify. Actually, they give some opportunity to make the operation of the systems or application. So you are the valid user. When you want to access the system, actually the system did not allow you, you face some problems. So you face some problems, that means there have some problems here. Say they show some message like 404 page not found, or the server or the page is buffering. This means that they cannot allow you to access the systems. So what's the main reason? The main reason is that some unauthorized people may try to access your systems and they make the system very busy. And for this reason, the authorized user cannot access the system. This is the main fact. So when we cannot ensure the availability, then we say that the system is unavailable and we say the system is destroyed. So destruction is the opposition of availability. At a glance, we can say that the opposite of CIA is DAT, disclosure, alteration, and destruction. So our main concern is that how we ensure these three things, how we ensure the confidentiality, what types of mechanism we have to follow here, what types of mechanism we have to implement, what types of tools we have to implement to ensure the integrity, and how we ensure the availability, what types of systems we have to ensure here. Because we know data stay in three stages. Our main concern is about the data. We ensure the confidentiality of the data. We ensure the integrity or availability of data. Because data is the raw material of information. And in the system, we have to ensure the security of the data. So we know data stay in three stages. First of all, data at rest. Say, as for example, when the data stay in the server or your mobile device, anywhere. And secondly, the data in transmit. Data in transmit. So that's mean sometimes we say that transmit or data in motion. Data in motion. When data go from one place to another, like uh, you work in a bank, so from the branch, we have to access the central database by using a web application through the browser. So what we do here? Sometimes we have to insert something. Say one customer want to open the account, and in that time we give the permission or we enter each and every data of the customer. Ultimately, the data we entered from the branch and stored in the central server. So by using the network or by using the cable, the data transmit from branch to head office. If we want to access some data or if we want to see some report from the central server, we browse this one. So from the head office, the data or information goes to the branch authorities. So this process is the data in transmit or motion. So how can we ensure the security of this of these things? This is the issue of the data in transmit or data in motion. And another thing is that data in process. Data in process. So what is data in process? Data in process is the stage. Sometimes the data may be stored in the cache or in the ROM or RAM. So in this area, how we ensure the security of the transited data or the virtual data in the virtual environment. So we have to ensure the security of data because data stays in three stages. So we learn something: confidentiality, integrity, availability, as well as data at rest, data in transmission, data in process. So dear professional, actually in the CISSP exam, will not get these very easy questions or easy things. So I always say that when we read this one, these topics, say here confidentiality. So what the goal of the confidentiality? To protect, to prevent or minimize unauthorized access of data. Confidentiality violation can result from the action of any or a system administrator oversight in the security policy or misconfigured. So this is the cause how security may be break. Another thing is that different types of countermeasure. That's mean how can we ensure the confidentiality? Say here there's some mechanism like the encryption, network traffic padding, static access controls. So you will get the question from this option. So as for example, they create a question. Which of the following is the best option to ensure the confidentiality of data? So if we know the example or the instance of the systems or these things, mentioning things, then we can give the answer. And we will not, definitely will not ensure the confidentiality of each and every data. Most important, most critical data, we have to ensure the security. As for example, depending on the sensitivity, creation, criticality, or concealment, secrecy, privacy, seclusion, and isolation, we have to ensure the security. So concealment is a important topic. So what type of question we'll get in our exam? Say as for example, we read this option. If we search this option, then we have to see the main question. What types of question may come here? Or as for example, the most efficient and effective tools is ChatGPT. So if you want to make a question, say in the ChatGPT, we give order, please create a CISSP question on say here I write a CISSP question on concealment. Just you write the question and you will get a question. So you will not see the answer first of all. You just try to solve the question first of all, then try to know each and everything. So can you please give the answer of this question? You just give the answer in the in the chat. So we get some answers, say A, B, C. Option A, B, C. Then okay, most of the people, you answered the answer is A. Correct answer is A. So how we go to eliminate the system, or here the main question is, in the context of information security, what is the primary purpose? So primary purpose is one of the key word here. One primary purpose of concealment as a security control, and which of the following scenario best illustrate its purpose? So we have to find out the primary purpose of concealment. So here four options may be correct. However, we have to find out the primary or best option. So first of all, they say that encrypting sensitive data before storing it in a database to prevent unauthorized access. So concealment, there are some topics is say that encrypting sensitive data, only sensitive data, or only by the encryption before storing in the database. So they're talking about the data in transmit or data in process. They're not talking about the data in rest option. Option B is saying that implementing a firewall to block unauthorized network traffic from entering a secure network. So they're talking about the firewall to block the unauthorized network traffic. Concealment is just a cover of systems. So if we consider A and B, I think A is better than B. Using stenography, so we have to learn what is stenography. If we don't know the definition or the process of stenography, we can just search this one in Google. So it's about they just hide the information, the real information in a image. It's the process of stenography. So we can search this one from here. The main concept of CISSP is that we have to ensure, we have to clear our concept. It's the process. That means the message is hide into this one. The message is in this one. So that means something is hide in a picture. It's about the stenography. Option D is requiring multi-factor authentication to access a company internal network resource. So there are two options, is option B and option D is relatively less important. These two option is relatively less important. So by this way, say where our main confusion is in option A and option C. So how we eliminate or how we find out the best option? So first of all, you have to think how to eliminate the option, number one. Number two, after find out the main two option, we have to read more details about these things. You will get lots of time in your real exam. You will get lots of time in your real exam. So if we consider the option A and option B, They say that option A is the right option. So when we go to the explanation section, our main confusion was in option C and option A. As for example, some people also answer option C. But most of the professional, you answer option A. So we have to find out why C is not the correct option. You will get the explanation here. So why you search this question in the internet? You can get help from the ChatGPT, but you have to understand each and every option. The explanation is very much important if you want to make clear your concept. And first of all, you have to search this one. Say, as for example, we read about the secret, right? So we're read about the say confidentiality. Confidentiality. So you will get some question here about the confidentiality. Say here is a screen. They say that what types of attack has occurred. That's mean we know that it's the ransomware attack, right? So ransomware attack is related to which one? Availability, confidentiality, disclosure, or distribution? Which one? Can you please answer the question in the chat box? Wonderful. So yes, the correct answer is definitely A, because when the ransomware attack, main target of ransomware attack is unavailable the data. You cannot access the data is encrypted. Hmm. There are a lots of example is related. This one. So another thing is that say integrity. If we want to search some person related to integrity, you will get the information here. So here they say something say like numerous attacks focus on the violation of integrity. So what types of attack may hamper the integrity of the systems? It may be the virus, logic bombs, unauthorized access, error in application, malicious modification. So say examples, they prepare a question. Which of the following is a authentic reason to violation, or which of the following is the main reason of information systems integrity? How information may be altered or modified. So, yes, may they may write some example from here and for also from another option. So we have to find out the main reason. So the main concept is how we ensure the integrity. So here integrity is depend on the confidentiality and access control. I'm trying to show you how you have to read the option. So when you read things, say you read the availability, so you have to know how we ensure the availability, what are the main reason to ensure the availability, and how availability may not be ensured. So when you read this passage, then you have to find out some question from the authentic resource. So say, as for example, I search some question from here. So availability. Availability. So here's some as for example, this is section. Which of the following risk is related to confidential. No, no. You just find out the ability. Say, for example, we can search from here also. You'll get lots of questions related to the availability. So you can say, as for example, here you get CIA related 10 questions. So you have to solve this 10 question. If you miss any question, that's mean your concept is not clear. You have some confusion here. So when you read passages, topics, and try to solve some question related to the topics, then your concept will be clear. And you can underline or you can mark your document here. If you want, you can print out the document. You can use different colors, and you can take some side note here also. Here you can take some side note. Why? Because before the exam, the most important thing is that you have to take some note, your own note. It will be very helpful for you, because you will not, it's not possible to see a huge space, say here 100, 1250 pages. If we want to complete this, or if you review this manual within 1 week, it's not possible. That's why you have to take the special note. You can maintain a diary, or beside the page you can take a note here, and this place is very much important. And a different authentic source, say a DID, that's mean disclosure, alteration, and destruction, is the opposition of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Here they says some another thing is that here some option about the I4A. Let's say identification, authentication is related to I4A. So what is I4A? So first of all, we see that CIA, confidentiality, integrity, availability, and the opposition of CIA is TAT, disclosure, alteration, and destruction. Another thing is that identification, I4A. I4A. It's a security main basic concept. I4A. So what is I4A? I for identification. I means identification. Identification. What is identification? Identification is nothing else, is your user ID. When we are going to log in our Gmail account, first of all, we have to input the Gmail. The Gmail is your identification. If we want to log in a system, first of all, we have to input the user ID or username. This is the identification. And if we input the user ID and we log in, can we access the system? Definitely no. We have to prove that you are the owner of this ID. You are the owner of this ID, so you have to provide the password, and its password is related to A for authentication. So identification and authentication is nothing else, just your user ID and password, which is considered as the first line of defense of a systems in the security perspective. So if you can log in the system by providing the user ID and password, can we access each and everything? Can we see each and everything? Can we browse each and everything? Definitely no. So the system administrator or management give you some permission, what types of work you can do. And this permission is talking about the authorization. How, in which area you are the authorized user, you can access this one. This is the authorization. So authorization is related to right or role. So management give you some role or right. You can do each and everything. Say you can delete some message, you can insert something, you can make some transaction. So is it possible to do some unauthorized something? Yes, definitely yes, because you have the right. But you are the accountable of that job, which is unauthorized, which is not permitted from the management, permitted from the organization. So each and every work using your user ID, you are the accountable people for that work. However, you are the authorized user, but if you do any unauthorized activities, then you are the liable of your job. And this is called the accountability. Accountability. And final A for auditing. So how we ensure or how we find which user do the unauthorized things? By doing the auditing. So auditing, we can see this one from by seeing the audit log, audit trail. So these things are very much important. Besides this, we see something like non-repudiation. You are the owner of your ID and you provide the credential, that's mean your password. So if you say that you are not doing this one, it will not acceptable. Why not acceptable? Because you are the owner of the ID and only you know the authentication, only you know the password. After making a transaction, after doing something, you will not say that I am not doing this job, because you are the accountable of these things and you will get the information from the audit log or audit trail. So I4A is very important in this regard, in this area. So here is the I4A. So as for example, we are see some non-repudiation. So what type of person may come from the non-repudiation section? You just search this one, non-repudiation. You will get some question here. So we have to answer this one, and if our answer is correct, then we'll ensure that our concept is clear. And by this way, we have to read this one. Say, if we see this, just a minute, some question we can practice here. So can you please answer this one, 55? What will be the correct answer? Please answer in the chat. So all of you give the correct answer. Okay. So it's the correct answer. I will share the WhatsApp link here. However, most of the WhatsApp quota is fill up, but if there any available, you can join. I will share the link here. So security mechanism, we're reading here the security mechanism or principles of policy and security, how we implement. So protection mechanism, how we ensure the security. Say, there one thing, defense in depth. Another name of defense in depth is layering, layered security. It is use of multiple control in series. So here one option is that sometimes the question may come like that. How defense in depth ensure the security? By option may be like that by uh, parallel control, by implement the parallel control or other things. But we have to know that the in the defense in depth mechanism, multiple control implemented in series wise. So, for example, uh, say here we can make a question in the defense in depth. Say, write a question for CISSP. One defense in depth. Can you please answer the question? So most of the answer is coming about D. Deploying a combination of perimeter, defense, IDS, encryption, access, employee training. But the answer is A. Implementing a strong password policies and require multi-factor authentication for access to all critical systems. Multi-factor authentication. So, oh, sorry. Answer is D. So if you have any confusion between A and D, we can see the explanation here also. Okay. Option D illustrate scenario here. You will also know a definition or principles of defense in depth very clearly from here also. Multi-layered security or safeguard each and everything. It involves using variety of defensive measures so that one layer behind that. So it's the right option because most of the cases, sometimes we read a topics, and if we prepare a question from the ChatGPT or other CI tools or other authentic source, if we give the correct answer, then we'll say that okay, fine, my answer is correct. My concept is clear. Okay, so it's a good approach, I think. So series is good, parallel is not good. I take a note from here. For the defense in depth, series is good. However, parallel is not good in the security aspect. So abstraction, data hiding. So stenography is an example of data hiding. And data hiding is the act of intentionally positioning data so that it is not viewable or accessible to an unauthorized subject. So if we want to know about the stenography, you will also get some question from here also, stenography. What types of question may come in stenography? Just search here, stenography. This is the image. What technique has been used to protect the intellectual property in the following image? No, it's the watermark. This portion is not related to the stenography. It's a stenography. Answer is stenography. It's a stenography image. Answer is stenography. Security boundaries is very important. Security boundaries means in different types of layered security. So how we evaluate and apply the security governance principles. Security governance is the performed by a board of directors. But a smaller organization may simply have the chief executive officer. So actually, who is the responsible to ensure the security of an organization? Definitely, senior management, board of director, top management, they are responsible. However, as a system administrator, we just implement the security according to the order, according to the instruction of the senior management. So governance and management is totally different. Governance actually provide the goal, objective, and strategic direction for a organization, where to achieve the goal which is provided by the governing body is the responsibilities of management. How we achieve the goal, it's the job of management. And governance main responsibilities is to ensure the corporate trust, transparency, accountability. It's related to the governance. So third-party governance, how you ensure the third-party governance here? This is some documentation review. So here I mark some things in which area I think that this is important for me. So your personal note is very much important. You have to take the personal note, because from here you will get the question before your final exam. It will be very helpful for you. So here, manage the security function. So first thing is the security must be measurable. It's not like that. The assumption, you have to calculate the security. You have to calculate the risks, and you have to implement the risks control to mitigate the risks. So different types of risk matrix available. So we can implement the risk matrix, and how can we implement the risk matrix? It's another things. However, the domain one is related to the risks. Managing the security function, you will get some point also here. So in the first chapter, say, as for example, talking about some plan. So we know plan may be broadly plan is two types: long term and short term. And long term is treated as within the year, it's the short term, and if it's more than 1 year, then it's the long term, considered as a long term. And when the plan is 3 to 5 years, then we say this one is a strategic plan. 0 to 5 years, it's considered as a strategic plan. And if the plan is within the year, definitely it's the short term. And if more than 1 year, then it's the long term plan. So here, say strategic plan. A strategic plan is long term plan that is fairly stable. Security purpose, a strategic plan should be included in the risk assessment. Tactical plan is the mid-term plan, provide more details on the accomplishment, the goal, set forth, and strategic plan. Operational plan, different types of plan they discuss here. Okay, so we know some basic things about the security. Here also that they provide the SOC report. So based on the service organization control report, it's not related to the SOC report. So can anyone please say what is SOC report? Anyone please? Is it clear as to what is the SOC report? Okay, fine. I am talking about the SOC report. SOC means security service organization control report, not security operations center. Here, SOC reports, service organization control report. And it's the third party audit report. When you want to purchase something, first of all, your management say that in which organization in our country this software or this solution is implemented. You may visit that organization, but you stay in India or Japan, and if your management want to investigate the system, what the system is implemented, however, you say that this software or solution not implemented in India or Japan. So how we visit or how we get the information about the software? Then we take the help of the SOC report, service organization control. Some third party organization, they audit, they investigate the vendor organization, and they provide independent audit report. This report is the SOC report, and SOC report is basically three types, three categories of SOC report available here. So number one, SOC 1. SOC report is like that. SOC 1, SOC 2, and SOC 3. SOC 3. So what are these three reports? SOC 1 report is related to financial report. Financial. Say as for example, they say about the payroll system, then the answer will SOC 1 report. They say about the account statement, it's related to the SOC 1 report. So all information related to financial treated as the SOC 1 report. And SOC 2 report is the report, it's related to CIA, security, confidentiality, integrity, availability, security, as well as privacy. Is treated as a SOC 2 report. And third number is about the SOC 3 report. It's also about the same thing, CIA and privacy. So actually, what's the main difference between SOC 2 and SOC 3? One thing is that SOC 3 is private report. If you want to see this report, you have to take permission from the management, from the authority. If they allow, then you can see the report. However, SOC 3 report is publicly disclosed report. Publicly, you can see this report. It's the SOC 3 report. So this is the main difference. And another thing is that there are two types of report. The SOC 1 and SOC 2 has two types, type 1, type 2. Type 1 is related to point in time. Point in time. Say, as for example, you want to see the report in 1st October 2022 in a specific date. It's related to the type 1 report. The specific date, not a range. And so type 2 report is related to period of time. And time duration may be 6 months, minimum 6 months. So from January to August, you want to see the report. So this report type is considered as a type 2 report. So SOC 1, SOC 2, SOC 3, type 1, type 2 is, I think it's clear to us. Say, as for example, if we say that SOC report, say IBM report, we want to see the SOC report for IBM SOC report. So IBM SOC 1 report. So we say that SOC 1 report, it's private report, number 1. Number 2, it's related to the financial value, a financial issue. So on SOC 2. Okay, so here the IBM Cloud Compliance SOC 1 report is available. So also say about the SOC report. It's the statement related to the financial statement. So financial reporting, client financial reporting. And if we want to see this report, we have to take permission from the, say here, contact an IBM representative so to see a request SOC 1 report. So easily we cannot see this one. We have to take permission. For the SOC 2 report, same, we have to take permission from the authority. And they also say what is covered the SOC 2 report: security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, privacy. And contact an IBM representative. Why? Because this report is not publicly disclosed. But if we want to see SOC 3 report, which is publicly available, SOC 2 and SOC 3 both are same. However, SOC 3 report they published in the website. So here, if you want IBM Cloud Infrastructure SOC 3 report. So when you click here, you will get the report. The report will be available here. It's the publicly report. This is the main fact. So Just a minute. Say I am trying to give the main difference here. All in all, you will get each and every information about the SOC report here. SOC 1, SOC 2, SOC 3, financial related, security, privacy related, type 1, type 2. So if we understand our explanation, can you please give the right answer of this question? First question, which will be the correct answer? Please give the answer in the chat. So I got to answer the answer A and another answer B and D. So I think the concept is not clear. So here, what about the question? The providing accounting service. So what is it? Is it related to security or privacy, or it's related to the accounting thing? They, another option, the trust and assurance in the quality of their service. Trust and assurance. But the main thing is that a service organization is providing the accounting service. Accounting service they provide. So if we want to see the SOC report, which report should we see? The main keyword is here the accounting service. So the answer will be A. Definitely the answer will be A. Clear? Can you understand why answer is A, SOC 1? So if we see the second question, can you please answer the question number 2? Okay, I got to answer option B and option D. And the main keyword is related to the, it's first of all, it's talking about the security and availability. Security and availability is the main thing. So when they say about security and availability, answer will be SOC 2 or SOC 3. So SOC 3 is not available. So if you identify this one, then from option C and D, one option will be correct. Number one. Secondly, they talk about another two option here, a period of time. A period of time. It's not a point of time. Period of time, that's mean it's a time frame length, minimum 6 months or like that. It's not period of point in time. So it's related to the SOC 2 type 2. So correct answer will be D. Yeah, two things require a period of time, and another thing is covering security and availability. That's why option D is the correct. Yeah. Hope you understand. Clear? Do you have any question? Okay, fine. So we'll see another question right now. So question number 3, please answer the question. Okay, so D, most of the professional you give the answer D. So what's the main reason here? The main thing is that they're talking about the general, that's a publicly disclosed report. That's why the correct answer is D. Okay, and thank you very much. Hopefully you understand the question. So let's go to the review manual here. So hopefully you understand the question and option. So another, there have some another topics like the organization roles and responsibilities. Dear professional, you will get some question from here also. So see what is the role of the senior management, security professionals, asset owner, custodian, and there is a difference between the asset owner or custodian. Actually, asset owner is that people who is the owner of the system, and the responsibility to ensure the security and give the permission to access the asset, each and everything is the main responsibilities of the asset owner. And as custodian is the people who do the day-to-day activities. Say, as for example, you work in a bank and you have a computer. So who is the owner of this computer? Definitely the senior management, director. They are the owner of this computer, and they have to ensure the security of this computer. And you use this computer and you do day-to-day activities through this computer. That's why you are the custodian of this computer. So how the data owner ensure the security? They provide the security, they ensure the security policy, they approve the security policy, and the security administrator actually implement the rules regulation or implement the policy into the systems. So you will get some section where the role responsibilities of the user, custodian, asset owner. You have to take, just for example, if we see a question, custodian. Custodian. Say, I'm not sure answer is related to custodian or not. Okay, fine. It's a small question. That's why I select this one. What will be the correct answer? Please answer the question. Okay, so here the question is about which individual bears the ultimate responsibilities of data protection. Ensure the security will be liable people. To ensure the security, ultimate responsibilities. When you see these types of keyword, ultimate, actually, ultimate, it's a keyword. So that's why data owner, data owner will be the correct answer. Data custodian will do the day-to-day activities. They will not responsible to protect the data. However, they do the day-to-day activities, make the operational activities. So that's why correct answer will be A. When only one people who key your answer is right. If we search these types of question in our most helpful friend ChatGPT, write a question, write a CISSP question on data custodian. So here write each of the following responsibilities is typically associated with the role of data custodian in an organization. So we have to see the data activities or like this keyword. Here define the data classification. No, it's not. It's the responsibilities of the data owner. Implementing and maintaining physical security. No, it's the responsibility of data owner. Ensure the proper handling, storage, backup data. Backup data. This is the day-to-day activities. It's a keyword. So our answer may be C. So answer D, option D is talking about conducting regular risk assessment and deploying organizations overall security strategies. Deploying overall security. So answer may be C or D. So which one may be the right option? Overall is the distractive option. Overall job cannot be performed by the custodian, but option C is talking about the day-to-day activities. A data custodian is responsible for the day-to-day management, day-to-day activities, and protect data within your organization. So hope you understand why correct answer is C. Okay, great. And most of the people your answer is correct. Thank you. So I just share how you read the study materials because it's a vast thing, CISSP. But if you regular practice, trust me, you can achieve your certification in very short time. So there are different types of control framework. Say, it is based on the six key principle for governance and management of enterprise IT. So sometimes you may get a question, which of the following is not the key principle of COVID framework? So they provide the option from here and they create a option which is false. So you have to find out the false option out of the four option. And in CISSP, the option may be four, minimum four, but maximum it may be 10. Because if we see some questions here, there are more option for the section. You will get more option. The SOC report also, question also available here. I'm trying to use some option where more than one option available. More than four option available. Sorry, you will get more than two option is correct, or there may have some option more than two option. Okay, if I get, I will show you. So COVID, the main principles, there are six key principles. So you have to remember this one because you will get the question from this option also. So as for example, for the exam technique, I memorize like this. PhD, GT. If you want to get the PhD from USA, you need GRE, GT. So you can easily remember this one. Provide stakeholder value, holistic approach, dynamic governance, governance distinct from the management. So governance distinct from management. So COVID framework, by studying the COVID framework, we can learn what's the difference between management and what's the difference between the governance. Main difference between governance and management. So before I have already discussed governance and management. So here another risk management framework also, RMF, risk management framework. NIST provide this risk management framework. NIST cybersecurity framework. Different. So one thing is that you will get some very essential question from the NIST framework. Most of the cases, most of the time, we always prefer to refer you to visit the NIST framework because from the NIST framework, the master document is treated in CISSP exam. Say you are confused about some answer or some option, I always suggest you may visit the NIST site. You may read the NIST document. You will get the right answer from there. Because in CISSP exam, most of the time we follow the NIST framework, and according to the NIST framework, we prepare the questions. So here another option is due diligence and due care. So what is due diligence and due care? What's the main difference between the due diligence and due care? Due diligence is related to the do detect. Due diligence, we can say do detect. Due diligence, do detect. And due care is related do correct. Due diligence actually is the law, it's the policy, and it's the mandatory thing. Mandatory thing. Management provide this one, and we have to maintain this one. And due care is related to the optional. However, from the organization perspective, is very important. If I yes, pre and post. One thing is that say to work in a branch of a bank, one senior citizen come to you and he want to open an account. However, he cannot write, he cannot fill up the customer opening form. As a professional, you go there and you say, "Sir, can I help you?" The senior citizen say that, "Please fill up my form." You fill up the form, but you have no bindings, you have no command to fill up that to help that people. However, you are doing this job from your professional care, from your professionalism. It's due care or professional care. But in the place where the customer have to sign, definitely you will not give the sign instead that customer. It's the rules. The account opener should sign in the signatory form or signatory place. It's the due diligence. So you will get some question related to due care and due diligence. Here the main difference is that say due diligence is establishing a plan, policy, and process to protect the interest of the organization. So plan policy is approved or prepared by the senior management, and due care is practicing the individual activities that maintain and due diligence effort. So one thing is like the governance part, and another thing is like the management part. Diligence is like governance part, and due care is in the management part. Another there have another difference. Due diligence is knowing what should be done and planning for it, and due care is doing the right action at the right time. So I have another video on due diligence and due care. If you want, you can visit this one also on Lunch Plus site. And if we prepare a question or if we see a question say due care, due care and due diligence. Okay. Can you please give the answer of this question? I'm not sure the answer A or C. Another answer maybe. Can you please answer the question? Yes. This is the correct answer because here main keyword is the research undertaken before decision and action. Before. Before is a keyword. And pre and post already Rajrupa, brother, you also mentioned here pre and post. So that's why she is the correct answer. Wonderful, great. And if you solve some questions, say as for example, you select you 10 question, find out 10 question, and if all the answer related to the due care or due diligence will be correct, then you think that your concept is clear. And you miss 2 question out of 10 question, then I think you have to more clarify, you have to learn more details about the topics. So here security policy, standard procedure and guideline. So here what's the difference between the standard policy, procedure or guideline? The main thing. So here something is that first of all you can say the standard, then policy, then procedure, and finally guideline. Here, if we want to prepare a policy, definitely we have to follow some standard. So if you want to prepare a ICT security policy for a bank, then you have to follow some standard like it may be the NIST, it may be ISO 27001. If you want to prepare some payment card related policy, then you have to follow the PCI DSS like that. So a standard is prepared by some organization, and by using this standard, that organization may perform their tasks. So it's an independent body, and standard is mandatory. You cannot change this one. You cannot modify this one. It's mandatory. Similarly, policy is approved by the senior management, and policy is considered as a high level statement, and it's not dynamic. Comparatively, policy is the static document, and it's the mandatory. So standard and policy both are mandatory. And thirdly, procedure. Achieve the policy, we have to do work step by step. Step by step, it's considered as the procedure. So procedure also the mandatory option. So if we want to prepare the policy, we have to follow the standard, which is mandatory, and policy is the high level statement, which is prepared or approved by the senior management, top management. And if you want to achieve this policy, we have to follow the procedure. Procedure means step by step work. By doing step by step work, we can achieve the policy. And policy is also the mandatory thing. And finally, guideline is not mandatory, it's optional. And guideline is more details, explanation, example, figure. It may contain anything. It's not like the policy. Policy high level design, that's mean the statement is very short. It's not more details. And if we have any confusion about the policy, then we can see or we can study the procedure, because the procedure is more details about the policy. So here the security policy, what is security policy? Who will approve this policy? Each and everything is defined here. Policies are broad overview where standard, baseline and guideline more not include more specific. So here another thing is say about baseline. So what is baseline? Baseline is the minimum requirement. It's minimum requirement. Baseline is the minimum requirement that we have to follow. It's the baseline. So here the explanation also here. We have threat modeling. Threat modeling can be preferred as a proactive measure. So here Another keyword is proactive. So here there are two options. Number one, maybe the preventive control. Preventive control. Preventive control means to ensure the security, we have to take some measure. This is the preventive action, preventive control. So preventive control is related to the proactive. Proactive. Preventive and proactive is related. Another thing is that another option is corrective. Corrective control, which is related to the reactive. For proactive, for ensure the proactive, we implement the safeguard. Safeguard. We have to implement a safeguard to ensure the proactive. And to ensure the reactive, actually, we have to implement the countermeasure. These are the related things. So, say, as for example, if you want to create a person, proactive, say, here we search proactive. Proactive. I'm not sure the person is available here or not, but I'm sure you will get these types of person in ChatGPT. I told him to prepare a question. He told this one. Say, which of the following action based exemplifies a proactive control in an organization security management approach? So, proactive control. So, we have to find out these types of keyword. Conducting periodic vulnerabilities, reviewing security identifies have occurred, implementing security awareness. Security awareness. So, it's related to preventive control. Installing and configuring an intrusion detection, not preventive. So our answer may be C. C is the correct answer. Okay. So by this way, we can find out the right option. I'm trying to give a concept, provide the concept on how we have to read this one. My main concerning issue is not you have to complete this one very quickly, but I just say that you have to read one thing and is it clear to you or not? How can you justify? You have to solve some question. And in the CISSP exam, we always say that you have to solve at least 5,000 questions from authentic source. And when you solve 5,000 questions, trust me, in your exam, easily you can achieve the goal. You can achieve the success. So identifying threat, what is threat? So here is the threat modeling, stride model. So you will get some question from this model also. Stride means spoofing, tampering, reputation, information disclosure, denial of service. Then pasta model, it's the threat model. So you can make a note here, threat model, and you list the name of the threat model. It will be helpful for you. You create a note on the risk management framework. and you identify the COVID or other risk management framework, it will be helpful for you to select the right answer, because you will get these types of question in your exam. So here I always say that 10 to 20% definitely you have to memorize, and the rest of the question is about your knowledge, your professional expertise. So it's very much important. So determine programming potential. I am talking about the reduction analysis. The purpose of this task uh, is to gain a greater understanding of the logic of the product, its internal component, as well as its the interaction with the external elements. So it's the job about the reduction analysis. So if you get question, what's the purpose of reduction analysis? Uh, It's a concept. You have to understand this one. And before doing any job, before doing any implementing any control, or before doing the cybersecurity audit, first of all, we have to do the risk assessment. And we start our work from the top ranked risk area. So we know what is risk, because there have a matrix says, for example, we say that there are two options for risks. Number one, risks equal to probability into impact. It's the common definition of risks, probability into impact. And another definition of risk is risk equal to asset value into threat into vulnerability. And we know vulnerability is the weakness of a system. Weakness of a system. So when a system have a weakness, then there have some internal or external threat. However, vulnerability is the internal issue. You have to mitigate the vulnerability by yourself. No external people fix your vulnerability. Okay. So vulnerability is always for internal issue. And threat is both issue. It's maybe internal or external. Say, as for example, some bad employee may do some unethical job, or due to the lack of knowledge, some people may be mistakes. It's the internal threat. And hacker or third party, they may exploit the vulnerability. It's the external threat. However, when the vulnerability and threat is exploited, some asset value may lose. It may be the financial value, or it may be the reputational loss. So asset value, it may reputation loss, or it may be the financial value. So how we implement the, or how we assess the risks? Here is example there. 3 by this matrix is called the 3 by 3 matrix. 3 by 3 matrix. So when the probability of a systems is high and the damage or impact is high, then it's the top highest area. It's top risks. And we have to start the security assessment or risk assessment or security audit from this place, highest area. Supply chain management related some risks may be faces by the organization. So here, what types of event may occur here? Here, give the. So here, if we summarize the things, first of all, we say that we have to do some things. Number one, print copy of study materials is important. And when you print your book, you can use at least three color pens, and you can underline or mark like that way. You can use different color here because it's important for your memorization. Secondly, you have to take own note. Own note, own note is very much important. Before the exam, before the exam, it will help you a lot. Own note plus side note. You may take the note in this area, in this chunk area. It may be the equation. You just try to understand how you understand this option. It's the main fact. It's not like that you write the note very well. Some people give you the credit. It's wonderful note. Not for that purpose. For your better understanding. Third number, at least 5,000 question you have to practice from authentic source. And most important thing is that you may take authentic writer book. Secondly, you can take help from the OpenAI, maybe ChatGPT or other things. And one thing is that say here system is create a one person. If you refresh this one, it will generate another person. When you log in and create this types of person, it provide another. It provide another person. And when you refresh this one, you get another person's also. So you will get some take help from here. And another thing is that when complete one section, say you complete the domain one or chapter one, you may take some mock test. Say I'll show you a mock test. Right? Not free, but if you give the registration and knock me, definitely I will allow your approve your CISS certified information system security. Here you will get a domain on domain 2, say here chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4 portion. So when you click here, this one included 30%. 30%. So in the chapter 1, you can say solve 30%. So 21 into 30, you will get lots of percent here. So after completion one chapter, you have to take one mock test. If you pass in, say, as for example, I say that one thing, just a minute. It's loading still now. but always try to uh, solve the question from the authentic source. Say, as for example, here is a domain 1. If you want to take this exam, it's a full-length exam pattern is available here. And if you want to review your previous result, you can also here say here the result, and here say that 80% is correct is required to pass. So you can review the question also here. Wrong option, correct option, each and everything. Explanation also available here. So you have to practice a lots of courses. So where we can practice the question, or where we can get the community, say it's a community. It's our CISSP community. Each and every day we'll practice lots of questions here. Different people from different area, different resource you will get here. So one thing is that when we provide a question, then some people answer, and also we provide the explanation. Correct answer is here. We give the explanation. So it's a great community. You'll get a lots of people who are trying for the CISSP exam. So you just post a question, and if they pass, or if you have any confusion, you may ask. And one thing is that many people pass their exam from this group. All credits goes to the exam preparation people. That's been who are going to attend the exam. All credits is one him, but most of the people are ready to help you. That's why it's very much important for you. Okay, so you can also access this one. So actually it's all about today's session. Our commitment was 2 hours. I will invest 2 hours for each chapter. So our first chapter is close here. So if you have any question, you can raise your hand or you can ask me. Okay, hopefully you don't have any question. Any question from today's session? Any question or any suggestion? Okay, if you don't have any question, we just uh, going to close today's session. Best wishes, and if I have any time or for the next time, I will share the next session in the next week, same time, same day. So in the next Thursday, we will conduct another session. Thank you very much.